Hey everyone, in today's book review, I have a nice watercolor instructional book that I want to share with you. This is The Joy of Watercolor. The Joy of Watercolor, 40 Happy Lessons for Painting the World Around You by Emma Block. So this is a hardcover book with 240 pages. This is not like those traditional classic watercolor type of book, like this type of books with the very detailed painting or the very classic watercolor look and subject matter. This book by Emma Block, this is actually more of an illustration book that uses watercolor. It's suitable for beginners because the instructions are very easy to follow along, and it starts out by telling you the necessary tools that you need. So even if you have no knowledge of watercolor, you can start out very easily with this particular book. There is a lot of text in this book, a lot of instruction, a lot of insight, and some very basic knowledge and techniques on mixing colors. So these first few pages, they are on the basics, and then it jumps straight into the tutorials. There are 40 lessons, 40 tutorials in this book. And as you can see, the subject matter is quite simple. The exercises, the tutorials, they are step by step, so you can follow along very easily. The colors that are used are all listed. So if you want to replicate the same color, the same look, you can do so. The instructions are clear and concise, very easy to follow along. And the examples, they are quite nice. They are pretty looking. Simple enough for beginners to follow along, and they are quite lovely. So the first few tutorials, they are actually quite simple. They teach you the basic techniques for choosing colors, mixing colors, and it gets a bit progressively more challenging later on. And also there are some designs incorporated into the tutorials. This book is mostly painting with watercolor. It doesn't use other medium. So it does start out by doing a very simple pencil sketch, and then you paint over the pencil sketch. There is no pen and ink. So the look of watercolor like this is a bit softer compared to those pen and ink watercolor sketches that I always do. And when you are learning watercolor like this, you actually learn a different approach to watercolor. With pen and ink, you can use the ink lines, the strong contrast to sort of make your drawings stand out more. But with watercolor, you have to play around with the shapes, play around with the colors to make your drawings stand out and look good. So you have to rely on the color and the shapes and the design itself. With pen and ink, you can actually fall back onto the ink lines. So there are some animals that you can practice to draw. Painting on location, there are some tips for drawing landscapes as well. Some urban landscapes like buildings, houses, the beach, clouds. These are all step by step. This is the most I would say detailed watercolor painting illustration in this book. Once again, step by step, very easy to follow along. So that's it. This is an illustration of Emma Block herself. I will put a link to her websites in the video description below so that you can check out more of her work. This is a nice and accessible book for beginners who want to learn some basic watercolor and those who want to have fun with watercolor. Not everyone wants to paint in the serious watercolor style. So this is a very fun book to have, lots of wonderful exercises that are easy to follow along. I would recommend you get a watercolor sketchbook to go with this book so that you can go through the tutorials in your watercolor sketchbook. And once you fill up the sketchbook, I'm very sure you will have a good sense of appreciation and satisfaction as well. So that's all for my review today. If you're interested to get this book, you can get it through the Amazon or Book Depository affiliate links in the video description below. I actually earn some commission from those links if you buy through them. I use the money to get more books like this to feature on my YouTube channel. So thanks for watching today's book review. See you in the next one. Bye!